feel like my cats are gonna be assholes this whole episode. So if you hear like, "Meow," it's probably my cats. I'm sorry. I have coffee again. If you're watching, last episode I had sweet tea, and I said that, but I cut it out because I was just like yapping, and I was like, "Let me shut the fuck up. You don't care about my cup." So, also, I actually look like kind of put together today. That's really crazy. I am still in sweatpants, but you know, my makeup's done, my hair is done. I look slay, so it's fine. I was like waiting to put out an episode because I wanted to film an episode with my friends, and I thought it was gonna happen, but then I went out of town to go see my grandparents, and it like messed everything up. And then I'm going to see them again this weekend. I love my grandparents. I love doing my rounds and saying bye to everyone because I leave in less than 2 weeks, but it's ruining my plans with my friends, and I haven't seen my friends since like my birthday, my 17th birthday, which is almost a year ago. Mind you, I turned 18 in 2 months, so it's almost been a year since I've seen these people, and like I want to see my friends, so it's frustrating me a little bit, but it's okay. Hopefully I will be able to see the Mean Girls musical with them soon. I don't know if they listen to this shit. If you guys listen, I love you. I miss you. Okay, sorry. I just spent the last like 4 or 5 minutes freaking out because Sabrina's playing Gov Ball, and my friend texted me, and I just lost my fucking shit. Wow, I'll probably post that clip on like the fucking Instagram, or my Instagram, the Delusionist Pod Instagram, because if I just put it in here, you're gonna hear me go, and that's not very entertaining unless you're watching this. And I don't know how many people are watching, how many people are listening. Actually, I could look at the stats, but I don't like to because I don't like looking at the numbers. It scares me. Hi, anyway. Welcome to the Delusionist Pod, or welcome back. I'm Essence. I sit on my couch and talk shit. So, last episode was kind of, I don't want to say dim, but it wasn't a little, I was just like having a moment. I was a little sad. I was feeling very reminiscent. It was the holidays, and I was moving soon. It was like my last real full holidays with my family before I go off to college, and I just had a lot going on. I was feeling very sad, and I just had other stuff like going on in my head, and I have a lot of trauma surrounding the holidays, so I just wasn't in a good mood. But I'm back on my bullshit. It's 2024. I fucking forgot. Happy New Year. Duh. Happy fucking New Year. I forgot I started this in like 2023, the end of 2023 for some reason. But anyway. Also, I'm so sorry if like my necklaces piss y'all off. I think I said this in that first episode. I refuse to take them off, but like if it really gets annoying, okay, I'll like take them off or something. But they're part of me. I can't help it. Or my bracelets. Like, I know these headphone users are like, girl, shut the fuck up. How many times they say like? Actually, don't do that, because you know what? I am a woman and I'm smart, and me having filler words does not dim my intelligence. Period. Oh, okay, I actually like wrote shit down for this episode. I also was putting off this episode because I thought I was gonna do it with one of my friends, Alonia, but we also never actually like finalized our plans, so it's not our fault. I just never. I'm pretty sure I started off the podcast saying that, but whatever. So, first order of business. We all know like the Sephora girls, like the little Sephora kids, right? I'm not really here to talk about them. Yeah, I think it's like kind of fucking crazy and weird. I was talking to my mom about it, which is what struck this in my head. But at the same time, like, you know, I wanted to go to Ulta and shit. Now, was I getting fucking retinol for my face? No. I was getting like a lip gloss. But I was going to Claire's. Like, I still fucking love Claire's. So, it's not the same, I guess. But there's also nothing for like tweens to do anymore. Justice doesn't exist. You know, the mall isn't really what the mall used to be. There is no tween stores for them to really go in. So I'm not saying like it's good that they're going to Sephora and like ruining this shit and being disrespectful to workers. But also, as consumers, what do they have to do? Because yes, they are children, but they are also consumers. And there's nothing that really markets towards them anymore. Besides shit like, because also with like Drunk Elephant's marketing, it is definitely marketed towards teenagers. Even though they're like, oh, like it's retinol, like maybe don't use that. They are marketing towards like tweens. That's where they're getting all their bank from. So it's like, hate the consumer, yes. Don't actually like hate children, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, fuck the consumer, blame the consumer. But also, what are these marketing teams doing? Because clearly they're not helping with this whole Sephora tween epidemic. But what I want to talk about is the way that there's no tweens, there isn't really like a young adult anymore. Hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I have friends from like my age, maybe a little younger. I have friends from like, well, how old am I? 17? From like 16 to in their like mid 20s, like early mid 20s, I think, late 20s, whatever. I have friends from like a 10-year age span, right? And like, I have like my best friends are in my age group, 16 to 17 to like 22. Those are like, that's my circle of people. But I have acquaintances and friends like that from ranging ages. Whatever. We get the point. And I was talking to my mom, and I was just thinking, because my mom had me when she was a teenager, so I kind of saw my mom grow up as a young adult. It was obviously different because she had a child, so she had to like be an adult, but I still like saw her, sometimes my mom didn't go out that often, but when she did go out, I saw her like get dressed and like go out and go party or have a birthday party, whatever the case may be. And even now, my mom's in her mid 30s. She just turned 35 and she's still like kicking it up. And my perception of age, I think, is very different from a lot of people my age because I did grow up with a teen mom. So to me, like, things that are old aren't old because I know, like 35, some people will be like, oh my God, 35, like you're getting up there. To me, I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? That's young as hell. Like, my ideal age in my life is to be 25 and 35. I don't know why I'm so excited to turn 25 and 35. Not because I think I'm going to have my life together or anything. I just, like, I can't wait to be in my mids. I don't know why. I've just always been excited to turn 25 and 35. I don't know. So anyway, I was talking to my mom, and as I've seen my mom kind of grow up, and like even now, she doesn't like go kiki until like 4 a.m. She, like, in her words, she's too damn old, but she still goes out, out with her friends, out to the bars, kikiing it up, and she's in her mid 30s. Also, if you see me, like, if you're watching this and you see me playing with my nose, I'm moving my septum because it's starting to irritate me a little bit. I thought about taking it out, but I actually like it, so I don't know. Maybe I'll try different jewelry. I see her go out and shit, and it reminds me that she's still, like, thriving, she's still in her prime. Because I was talking to my mom, and I said, I feel like there isn't really a young adult anymore. It's like teen and adult. She was like, honestly, there is no teenager. It's like kid, adult, period. And it made me think, because I was like, damn, she's right. And I don't mean this literally. Obviously, they're still young adults, but I saw this TikTok, which is what made me think about this. There was this girl, and she was talking about her goals. She was like, 19, I want to get engaged. 21, I want to buy a house. Like, 19, I want to get engaged. 20, I want to be married. 21, I want to get a house. 23, I want to have my first kid. 24, I want to have my second kid. And, like, all this shit. And I was just thinking to myself, and mind you, this girl was like 18, so she's saying she wants to get engaged next year, which is fine. Like, if that's your goal for yourself, that's your goal for yourself. But I was just thinking, what happened to wanting to be, like, young and turn? What happened to, like, the 90s, early 2000s, 2010s, like, whole clubbing epidemic? I know drug usage was, like, real bad then, but I'm just saying, like, I was always kind of excited to be in my young adult era and to be, like, clubbing and all this shit. And I feel, well, one, clubbing has died because I think my generation, like Gen Z, whatever, we're very much kind of, I don't want to pay $20 for a drink, which is, like, fair. But at the same time, like, I'm trying to go outside, so I don't know. I gotta have some play money, I guess. But it just made me think. So many people that I know who are my age are, like, having children or talking about having children or wanting to settle down. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just think it's slightly overrated. Enjoy your youth. I personally have enjoyed being a legal child this whole time. Like, even now, I'm still not rushing to turn 18. Am I excited? Hell yeah, I'm very excited to turn 18. But I'm not sitting here being like, oh my God, I'm ready to turn 18. Now, I know I just said I was talking about the whole clubbing epidemic. Yes, as a kid, you're always going to want to grow up. I feel like that's kind of inevitable. You always want to grow up. But I don't think I ever really grew up fast. Even according to my family, I've always kind of acted my age at the age that I was. I think intellectually, I just read a lot. So sometimes I sound a bit older than I am or whatever. But I'm very much a 17-year-old girl, almost 18, March 31st. Mark your fucking calendars. And I love being a 17-year-old girl. I love being a teenager. I'm very much cherishing these times. And I feel like, that doesn't happen a lot anymore. Same with, like, the way that people are talking about the tweens and saying that they're not being, you know, kids and preteens anymore, it's the same way that I feel like we're not being young adults anymore. I think because we see the state of the economy and we see how shitty things are. I was gonna say how shitty shit is, and that made me sound a little stupid. I'm not gonna lie to you, but anyway, and like everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, even like myself included. Obviously, I'm talking to you on a podcast that I'm trying to like build something up. I'm going to fashion school. Like I'm very much included in that. That being said, I still very much want to be in like my college era. I hate saying era, but I can't help it. Like I'm in my college era. I'm in my era's era. Whatever. I'm very excited to like go to college and have these experiences because, you know, I was homeschooled for a while. After middle school, basically the rest of high school I was homeschooled. I did public high school for like 6 months and then I left after winter break, my freshman year. So like I'm excited to have this college experience. Oh, there's my cat. If you're watching this is Pepper. But yeah, I'm excited to have this experience. I'm excited to, you know, be a young adult and like fuck shit up and, you know, like get myself in credit card debt. I don't want that, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, I want the experience of being a young adult, and I feel we don't talk about that anymore. And I miss it. Like, what happened? And so many of the people that I look up to on like social media who are kind of young adults, I guess everybody's frontal lobe is developing all of a fucking sudden, because suddenly everyone's like, I'm getting rid of all my pink, and like I'm adulting and I'm going back to like beiges and neutrals, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like every single person I keep seeing on my timeline, on my For You page, whatever, who I like and I admire and I kind of look up to be like, because my whole thing, my whole like branding in my head is that I want to be able to, and this is what I wrote in my college essay, I want to be able to have people younger than me and people the same age as me, whatever, my peers, I guess. I want people to understand that you can be beautiful and you can be intelligent. Because growing up, I felt like I had to choose one. Because I grew up and I was super duper fucking smart. Like, everyone always told me how smart I was. I was always an honor roll. I was always, like, excelling. And it's still, like, I took honors classes. I was always just really intellectually, I was an academic weapon. And I still am. But for a while, I felt like I had to just be that. I felt like I couldn't be like the girls in my school or my friends who were, you know, making musicals and like going to the mall and getting like little bits and pieces of makeup, because, you know, we're elementary and middle school, they weren't doing like full pieces of makeup, but, you know, like getting lip gloss and lip liners or a little bit of blush. I felt like I couldn't do that for a while. I felt like literally my first day of 4th grade, I wore like an outfit that kind of resembled a pantsuit almost. It was like this shirt and it said Paris on it, and it had these long sleeves so it looked like a blazer, like a suit top, whatever, and it had like pink and it had a collar, and I wore like leggings or these jean leggings. And I looked like I was going to I was looking very business casual, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I was in 4th grade. Like, I didn't need to be business casual in 4th grade. You know what I mean? And when I was writing my college essay, you know, I always kind of felt like I had to choose one. Hi, Violet. If you're watching, Violet just popped up behind me. And it was always very frustrating for me. And then when I finally got older, and I've always wanted to be like an entertainer. That's something that's like non-negotiable for me. I might be dead if I don't get to do that. So sorry, I'm joking, but I'm just saying, that's what I've always wanted to do. And as a person of color already, I have to work like 10 times harder. I can't just be pretty unless I like, I don't know, really work. Even if I am just pretty, quote unquote, I have to work harder at it, if that makes sense. That's not the point. I don't want to get into that because I kind of talked about that in the last episode, and I don't talk about that right now. Back to my whole spiel about young adults. My point with that is that the people that I look up to, they kind of reminded me that I could be beautiful and I could build a career for myself, or I could be an expert at the career that I choose, or that I could be, you know, I could be Elle Woods. I could be a lawyer and wear pink. But now all the people I look up to are kind of going back on that. Not that they can't do that. I'm not saying, like, if they're happy, they're happy. Good for them. But it almost makes you think, oh shit, was everybody right? You know, can I not be this like bimbo, fun girly pop, or even can I just be myself and still be taken seriously? I guess not, because everyone's changing, which is not true, but that's what it kind of starts to make you think. And, you know, some of them are honestly just like getting older, but some of them are still in their early 20s. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? If you're happy, like, good for you. But you don't have to do that in order to be taken seriously, you know? That's my big thing. I want there to be a disconnect. You do not have to almost tone yourself down in order to be successful, in order to be taken seriously.
Hello, Editing S here. My point is just that, like, you shouldn't have to do that. I think that was a given, but in case someone's like, well, actually, I just needed to put that out there because I'm not doing that. I just mean generally you shouldn't have to. And in order to break that standard, we have to work against it and not conform to it. Thanks.
One of the people that I truly admire is my friend Rissa. If you're listening to this, love you. I don't know if you listen to this, but that's okay. If anyone who knows Rissa is listening to this, you know what I mean. Like, she is just someone who I personally look up to a lot because that's mother. And, you know, she's a DJ and a photographer, and she's so super talented. And it kind of, for me personally, someone who was younger than her, it is a beautiful thing to see someone who is older than you do the things that you want to do, or be in the entertainment industry and be themselves and not dull themselves down in order to be taken more seriously, or to try to quote unquote earn respect, or whatever the case may be. I get it. Trust me, in a lot of industries you have to do that. Like, trust me, I understand that some people don't want to do that, but some people, you can tell that they're just like, it's not them. You can tell when someone's uncomfortable in what they're doing. And I keep seeing all these girls and all these creators kind of all of a sudden overnight do a whole 180 from like being a pink bling girl to like having a beige house. And it makes me very sad. I do feel like that all kind of incorporates to the whole tween and young adult epidemic conversation. We built this whole women empowerment movement to, like, you know, be who you want to be and try new things and have fun and da 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 da. And then all of a sudden we like kind of take it away. Like with the whole Barbie movie right now, everyone's talking shit about the Barbie movie, and I get it. I do have a lot of criticism for it myself, but at the same time, it wasn't supposed to be this like huge feminist groundbreaking thing. It very much is like feminism 101. And if you listen to my last episode, I talked about how I don't necessarily consider myself a feminist. I consider myself a womanist, because feminism doesn't really include black and women of color, but it's very much like a feminist 101. And that's what like America's even said herself. It's not supposed to be this like huge groundbreaking thing, but it is supposed to, you know, bring you some comfort, especially to younger girls like myself, or even younger, who are just trying to find themselves in the world. And even so many older people can relate to it, because it's a very real conversation. It might not be as full of substance or whatever as y'all want it to be, but at the same time, it is still supposed to be a feel-good movie. Because y'all were all talking about, how does this person fit in the soundtrack? I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be crying. And now all of a sudden it's, well, this should have been more serious. So what the fuck do you want? I don't know. I just feel like it all leads back to the patriarchy. So we need to abolish straight men. That's my only solution at this point. It always comes back to the patriarchy. Every single time. Because I'm telling you, that's what's happening. It's the fault. It's the rise of the patriarchy. That's what it is. I'm just saying shit. But I do, like, low-key think I have some substance there. I think I do have, like, I'm going somewhere with this. You just have to get it. You just have to get me. Anyway. It sucks that I think everyone is kind of in a rush to grow up. No, and I don't mean grow up as in just growing. I mean everyone wants to be like a 40-year-old adult that has their life together. That's just not, I don't want to say it's not realistic, but not to get like dark, but recently I've had a lot of family pass away or have like health scares. And I think what we're all learning, as in like my family who's witnessing these passings happening, is that life is way too short to sit here and try to be something you're not. And I know everyone preaches that, but I really truly believe that it is way too short. And I truly try every day, every week, every year to just be who I want to be in that very moment. And just work towards my goals, but not let it consume me. You know, it's all a mental thing. You can work towards something and not let it consume you. You can work towards something and not let it change you in a negative way. Change is inevitable, but it just makes me a little bit sad that I feel no one wants to be who they are in the moment anymore. Everyone wants to be what they think they should be in the future. And that goes for tweens, that goes for young adults, because baby, you don't have to have a house at 21 and have your mortgage paid off. That is not realistic in this economy. Like, what are you talking about? Literally, what are you talking about? If you have that, I'm very happy for you. Like, you got your shit together, babe. But let's be serious. We don't need that to be happy. I promise. It will bring a lot of joy, I'm sure, because I would love to be 21 with the house and my mortgage paid off. Are you kidding me? But let's be serious. That's probably not. No, actually, Delusionist Pod is gonna pop off, guys. Trust. It's so over. You get a house. You get a house. You get a house. I don't know if that makes sense. I always say that. 2024, I don't really do 2024 resolutions. I try to do, like, monthly resolutions. I think I heard Madeline RG talk about this. I think she's the only other person that I've ever seen talk about it. But, yeah, I try to do monthly resolutions. And my resolution for January is to not say that, like, I don't... Stop it. Violet is, like, pulling up the couch. Is to try to stop saying that I don't know what I'm talking about. Because, you know, when you speak sometimes and you'll say a whole thing that's, like, so profound or just something that makes sense and you're like, but I don't know, though. Yes, you do know. You just said that whole thing. So my 2024 January resolution is to stop saying that I don't know or I don't know if that makes sense. Because if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you don't. And I just explained it. So how would it not make sense? Yeah, that's my January resolution, to stop saying I don't know. Because... to stop saying I don't know when it's something that I clearly do know, because I'm talking about it. So, yeah. Let me know what your monthly resolutions are. We should all do that. What are your monthly resolutions? Next, I got distracted by Govball. To you guys, that was like 2 seconds. For me, that was like 10 minutes of my life. I've just been sitting here looking at my fucking phone, but now I'm looking at my notes app. Next, this is like kind of going with the whole young adult thing. If anyone who I've ever talked to is seeing this, anything or any of my future love interests, do take everything I say as a grain of salt, please and thank you. Okay, I don't want to be tied down to this. Thanks. It's not that bad. I just like you'll understand when I start talking. Back to that TikTok I said a little while ago when I said, you know, this girl was talking about she wanted to be married or engaged at like 19, married by 20, or like whatever. That's fine. Good for her. But I feel like, especially with TikTok, suddenly everyone is a relationship expert and everyone just like wants to date to marry. That's fine. If that's something that brings you joy and comfort, I'm all for it. Like, I don't really date. My mom and like my family always asks me, you know, like, oh, I don't really date like that. I always say I've never dated anyone because I think no disrespect to like the one person that if I say that I dated someone, I would consider like I dated. I think that was truly like the closest thing that I have or had to a first love, if not was, because I would still like drop and like do fucking anything because I just have so much love for that person, but I'm not like in love with them. I don't think I ever was in love with them, which might be like a bad thing to say, but I'm also, that's my thing, like I'm 17, you know, and I feel so it's okay if you're in love with someone, and I'm not saying you can't be in love with someone. I've never felt that way, but I know I also have always felt like I just like I don't date to marry. I don't talk to people to be like, oh, I want to be with you for the rest of my life. And I think what keeps me up at night, this is not a good thing, this is like kind of bad actually, is that I always think about it as if, you know, we're either gonna stay together forever or we're gonna break up. There's no in between. Those are our only two options. Going into it, I do think like that, and that's not a great thing. You shouldn't think like that, but I do, and I'm working on it. But it's like I always see TikToks of people saying, you know, nobody wants to be a lover anymore. No one wants to be in love anymore. But mind you, every single TikTok is saying that. So clearly y'all want to be in love. But that being said, I don't want to say that like love is overrated because I don't that's not what I'm trying to say. But I do think being in a long-term relationship when you're really young is kind of overrated. And I'm not saying I wouldn't want to be in a long-term relationship. That's what I'm saying. Like, anyone I've ever talked to, if you're listening to this, or anyone who I eventually end up like talking to, please take this as a grain of salt. I'm just saying generally how I feel. I'm not saying like believe in love or anything like that. Like, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I just think it's a little too serious so soon. One thing that I've been thinking about moving and like going off to college, I've had crushes on people, and I've wanted to pursue relationships with people, but then I always think again, this is not good, but I do think, I I've always I've like talked to my mom about this, and I've talked to people about it, but I don't think I would want to be with someone for like 20 years unless I'm like 60 years old and we're gonna die together. And that being said, I'm not one of those people who, if I have like a high school love and we're going off to college, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm breaking up with you because I want to see how like I don't know. I wouldn't do that. I think that's kind of stupid. I get it, but I do think that's kind of stupid because like, what the fuck? But I get it because that's kind of what I'm saying. I do want to meet people and explore myself and just see the type of people I like. I haven't dated that much, so I don't really know the type of people I like. I don't really know who I mesh well with. And I want to see that. I want to have that experience. And that's just me personally. But I think it's taken a little too seriously right now. I feel everyone I know is like, I'm so in love with this person. I want to be with them forever, which is fine. If you're going to be in a relationship, I do feel like you should feel that way. But I don't think that should just be your overall mentality no matter what, like even when you're single, which if it is, that's fine. I don't think that's a bad thing. My mentality might be bad to some people, it's fine. It's just something that I've noticed a lot with people, and I've kind of noticed it my whole life since middle school. I never really liked the fact that I've always felt like you should be all in with someone. That's not what I'm saying. If you're gonna date someone, you're gonna fucking date someone, baby. Like, come on. But if you're just like dating around, I think that's fine. Like, I'm excited to like date and just see, the type of people that I like and to just explore, I'm not trying to settle down when I'm 19 years old. I'm really not. And if you are, good for you. I kudos to you, for real. Fucking kudos to you that you can like sit down and be like, this is what I want, and I know I want this, period. I'm too fucking indecisive. It's just the truth. I am. When I was gonna do this episode with one of my friends, one of the things I wanted to talk about was like first loves. I don't consider myself to have ever been in a relationship. I just don't think I feel like if anything, they're just situationships, which I know like leave situationship in 2023. That's another thing. I think that's so stupid because like, yes, I think situationships are kind of dumb, but I think they are necessary for growth. You know what I mean? I do think they are a part of growth and like learning to date and being in your dating pool, whatever the fuck. And every TikTok I've seen this about 2024 and relationships is like, I'm settling down, and it's all people who are like 17 to 22, not even like 25, not even their mid-20s. Which if you have a long-term partner and you guys are ready to settle down, obviously do that. Like, do it, float your boat. But I don't think I should be 18, 19, 20, 21 looking for my lifetime partner. I don't think that's, honestly, I don't think that's healthy. I feel like that's how a lot of codependency issues start. It's because you feel like you need to have this bond with someone forever. I genuinely feel like that's how a lot of codependency issues start, because you feel like you have to be with this person forever. Because like I said, you either stay together or you're gonna break up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're staying together or you're breaking up. So it's like, you're staying together, you're breaking up, or somebody like dies or some shit. Sorry. But that's just what's gonna happen. And I think it's overrated to be in your young adulthood, in your early 20s, late teens, whatever, and going into every relationship thinking, oh, this is going to be my lifelong partner. Again, that doesn't apply to everyone, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Whenever I talk to my friends and they talk about the people they're interested in. I'm like, oh, cool. Because I just like, it's like when people go on fucking Tinder. Nobody is really looking for love on there. They're just looking to like have a good time. I feel like that's what dating should be when you're young. Because I think that's how you meet the people or the person that you're really gonna be with, is by seeing the people that you like and don't like. If you stay with the same person from fucking middle school, you're never gonna know what. And I know that's like, it's one of those things that it's very, there's like a gray area, because I don't believe you should necessarily break up with someone if you truly have that so much love for them. But I also hear a lot in relationships like that where they met really young, they stayed together, that they do wonder what if, or they end up holding resentment towards their partners because they don't know anything outside of them. They don't know what could have been. And that's not necessary to know what could have been, but you see it so often in these couples who started off young, and then you see them when they're older and they have kids, and you talk to them and they're like, I do wonder what could have been. I'm happy. It's not that they're not happy, but you can tell that they do wonder, what they would be like. Because I feel it shows a lack there of growth sometimes. If you're staying with the same person, you're doing the same things for 20 years, from when you're like 15 to, I can't do math, 15 to 35, what growth are you really doing in your life? You can grow together. I'm not saying growing together isn't a beautiful thing. I think that's so beautiful. But I do feel like you need to kind of know yourself enough before you can make a whole like life pact bond with someone for the rest of your life. Because again, you date, you are dating to marry, or you're breaking up. There's just, that's all it is. And I just think it's, I don't want to say problematic. I don't think that's the right word I'm looking for, but I feel it is a little bit, I just think it's a little silly, honestly. I think we take relationships so seriously. I'm not saying that I that's not what I meant. Oh my gosh. Take your relationship seriously. But I think we take the concept of a relationship so seriously, and it doesn't need to always be that, I want to be, in my young intern era, I want to go date, I want to have fun, I want to find myself or whatever, and I'm not trying to have like a fucking existential crisis. I just want to be a girl and go out and meet people and be free, because I'm 18 years old. Not yet, but I'm closer to 18 than 17. You get my point. Like, I'm 18 years old. I'm not trying to sit here and settle down for the rest of my fucking life. Are you joking? No! I don't know. I just think it's a funny thing with love and relationships. And like I was saying earlier, no disrespect to the one person that I would probably consider like my only real-ish relationship. I only say that because though I don't think the relationship was that serious, I do know that the feelings that I had for that person were very like, that was my first time feeling and the only time so far in my life. Again, I don't really care what this person is doing now. like wish them the best. Don't want that. I'm very much over it in that aspect. And I had those feelings for a very long time. It wasn't something that was just like, oh, we broke up, or oh, we don't talk anymore, so I don't care. No, it like fucked me up for a while. Like, I would talk about it in therapy, and I'd be like, guys, oh, I can't do this. And then I finally got over it like a year ago, and I was like, God fucking bless, because this was getting fucking ridiculous. And though I'm not in love with this person, I don't want to be with this person, I would still do like whatever that person needed me to do. Well, for the most part, needed help with something, or they got in like a tough situation, whatever, I would do what I can to help them. But do I necessarily want to be with? No. 2024. On to bigger and better things, okay? But also, like, with first loves, you see this whole thing about, if they still talk to their first love, don't even try, you will never be as good as their first love. I think that's so fucked up. Like, I get it, because you will never feel the way you felt for the first time, but I even say this in my friendships, you also cannot compare. You have different friends for different things, you have different loves for different things. And I feel you cannot compare your first love to, like, your true love. That was kind of Gene. Whoa, guys. You can't compare, because you will never feel that first love that you felt again. but you have your true, and it's a different type of love. I have not experienced that. I don't expect myself to experience that any fucking time soon. But you have like different loves with people. You have different infatuations with people. You have different things that draw you to people. And I think it is so fucked to say, oh, if they still talk to this person, don't even try. Don't even, you will never be as good as their first love. Like, why would you put that in someone's head? I'm not saying it's not true, but what I'm saying is, why would you put that in someone's head, especially with gay people? Because, you know, gay people are always talking to their exes. Okay, without a fucking doubt. They're always talking to their exes. So, if that's the case, nobody can fucking date anybody. I don't want to say first loves are overrated. I just think we put too much power in them, if that makes sense. We give them too much power over us. And we gotta stop that shit. Because, no more. Please. Guys, please. Silly and fun. The last things I want to talk about, they're kind of like silly and fun. I feel like it's going to be a longer episode because I just keep yapping. But I love it. And I look good. I like looking at myself. And I look good. I like looking at myself. Anyway. One, I want to talk about being the problem. I've been seeing a lot of TikToks, you know, going to 2024. You see, I'm a TikTok whore. But I want to talk about being the problem because on TikTok, I've been seeing a lot of TikToks that are like, you know, you're always going to be a problem in someone's eyes. And that's so fucking real. I think at a certain point, we have to learn to accept that we are going to be doing something wrong in someone's eyes no matter what. Whether that's true or not true, you are going to be the problem to someone. We have people that we just don't like, that we don't click with, and that's okay. That doesn't make them bad people. That doesn't make us bad people. We don't click with those people. In someone's eyes, you are going to be a problem. You are going to be a negative thing. And you have to learn to accept that because you cannot dwell on that. You cannot change that. You can try, but don't. Like, don't sit here trying to change someone's opinion about you. That's so stupid. And not saying that I don't do it, because I definitely do. And one thing about me, I'm a very reminiscent person. Like, I will go try to talk to my old friends, and I can tell they don't want to fucking talk to me. Not because they don't like me. They're just like, why? Like, we don't talk anymore. Move the fuck on. And I get stuck in the past a lot. And I'm like, oh my gosh, hey, like, I hope you're doing okay. And they're like, girl, why the fuck are you talking to me? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I've been trying to kind of get out of that. It's really hard for me for some fucking reason. I just love people so much. I really do. I'm not a social butterfly, but when I meet people and I enjoy their presence and I enjoy being around them, like, I really do enjoy it. And it's really shitty for me when I can't, like, when that chapter ends, because all I want to do is, like, check up on these people and be like, oh my god, hey, how are you? And they're like, I'm good. Why are you talking to me? Sorry. I will leave you alone. So that's what I'm also working on. January is to try to let people go and realize that there's nothing bad between us. We're just, you know, our chapter is done and that's okay. Like, you know, we're not compatible anymore. We're not BFFs anymore and that's all good. And I'm still very much learning to kind of just let things go. You know, I'm allowed to have my opinion on it. I'm going to continue to have my opinion on it, but I don't need to let it control my life. I don't need to let it piss me off on my own phone. Moral of the story, not everyone's going to fucking like you, and that's okay. The people who think, oh, you know, you change and you're different, they want you to stay the same. They don't want you to grow, and that's not okay. And that's how you know you don't need those people in your life anymore. People who want you to stay the same don't want growth for you. And that's how you know they don't need to be part of your life anymore, and that's okay. So I think just learning to accept that you might be the problem in some situations, in some aspects, because one, that's going to help you take accountability when you actually are the problem, and two, that's going to help you build on the things that you want to do, whether that's career, whether that's self, love, whatever it may be. It's going to help you build on yourself because you're like, you know what? Worst come to worst, this person doesn't like me, and that's okay because they don't have to. Period. Me tweeting about Callie having a baby while I'm filming this episode is very funny. Anyway, as I was saying, I wanted to talk about TikTok microtrends, but I don't really want to talk about that right now. I'll give like a brief opinion on that. They're fucking stupid. I'm so tired of like Dear Pretty, Alien Pretty, Fawn Pretty. Shut the fuck up. I saw this TikTok of this girl being like, high, low weight in your face or something, and then like high weight. Girl, shut the fuck up. Nothing against that girl. I like how I said girl, shut the fuck up, and I'm like, nothing against her. No, truly nothing against that creator. but it's so fucking stupid. And people were like, well, it's to say how you should do your makeup. Who fucking cares? If you like the way you do your makeup, you do that, baby. Do what makes you feel good. I've been wearing these fucking tattoo chokers since I was in 5th grade, and you know what? They're really not in style. They're not at all. But if I went by people saying like, oh, you shouldn't wear that and make sure it doesn't look right on your head, I wouldn't be me. Okay? I wouldn't be me with these fucking necklaces. Or if I went by these TikTok trends, I would not wear my glasses. Oh my god, I would be blind everywhere I fucking go. Which I do want contacts, but not because I don't like my glasses, just because sometimes they're a bit annoying and I can't do like the makeup that I like to do, but I do love my glasses, so don't get it twisted if you see me pull up in contacts. But they're so fucking stupid. They piss me the fuck off. Shut the fuck up. What the hell are you saying? Dear pretty alien, pretty fucking fawn, pretty fish, pretty bear, pretty dog, pretty cat, pretty shut the fuck up, pretty bitch. Pisses me off. Anyway, last thing I want to talk about is unattainable men. I don't want to get too deep into this because I think I'm gonna have a whole episode with my friend, about like this as queer women. Also, if like my mother listens to this, she doesn't listen to it yet. She always needs to listen to it, but she's gonna learn a lot of shit about me. So, one, I'm sorry for cursing. I love you so much. Two, no, I'm not coming out. That's just not happening. We're not talking about this. We are not talking about this. No. Anyway, unattainable men. So I was having a crisis, a little bit of a crisis, I don't fucking know. A little bit ago, like 2 weeks ago, and I was texting my friend Zoe and I was texting my friend Jules. And I was like, guys, I know I'm not straight. I know that for a fact. I love women. I don't know why that's so, embarrassing. I don't know. I've always known that I've liked women. What I've been questionable is if I don't like men. And I think a lot of queer women go through this. I know I like women, but do I like men? If not, why not? And I think a lot of this stems from the fact that people think that if you're a lesbian or you're gay, whatever, you can't find the opposite sex attractive. Which is not true. Like, I have fucking eyeballs. I can see what you look like. If you're ugly, you're ugly. Not that people are ugly. Beauty is subjective. I'm just saying. If I don't find you attractive, I can see that I don't find you attractive. Me not finding a certain man attractive isn't because I'm gay and I have no taste. It's because I don't think he's attractive. He's not my type. Even if I was straight, not my type. You know? Growing up, I always knew that I liked girls. But in middle school specifically, I felt like I had to kind of be like a masculine-ish. I was still very, very much feminine. I was never like a mask lesbian or whatever. But, I did feel like I had to be more masculine. I do feel more comfortable wearing like pants. And I'm not a super girly, dressy girl. But I still enjoy, I consider myself feminine. Like, I am a feminine presenting woman. I like dressing up in my makeup and sometimes putting on a little dress. I'm just not gonna put on a dress every day of the week or a skirt. That's just not happening. But I still, whatever, you get my fucking point. And in middle school, I definitely felt like I had to be like masculine. People would kind of like say like, oh, if you were gay, you'd like be with like a girl who was like Essence, who was like who dresses like a guy. And I was like, whoa. Mind you, if you look at a picture of me from middle school, I was very much feminine presenting, like very much. Like, I was never ever masked. I think now some days it's like the most masked that I've ever been in my life. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about when I was like 12. I don't know, but it's okay. I'm not mad about it. I look back at it and I'm just like, first of all, how the fuck did I think that I was masked? Two, how did y'all think I was masked? Like, I was still kicking. I was putting on a full face of makeup. My eyes showed every fucking day. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Just because I wore pants does not mean I am masculine. Shut the fuck up. Anyway. But my point is, for a little bit, I thought I had to be, like, masculine presenting. I couldn't like men. Like, that's just not a thing. Like, I can't like boys. And then I was like, I'm a lesbian. Period. Like, I had no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And what's funny is that, like, I hate labels, but I hate not having a label. Because for a while, I was like, I'm unlabeled. Because it scares me. Like, it genuinely terrifies me that I'm going to say that I'm a lesbian and then I'm going to, like, date a man. Or, like, someone who doesn't identify with the term lesbian, because that would mean that well, I'm not gonna get into terminology because I don't want to talk. I don't care. I don't care about term discourse, slur discourse. I don't care. I don't against that because some people say lesbian means man loving non-man. Some people say women loving women. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I really don't. I'm gonna be so honest. I don't fucking know. Hold on. My braces are actually pissing me off. If I'm getting pissed off, you guys are definitely getting pissed off. I don't fucking know. So I'm not gonna get into that. But I always worry. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just say I'm unlabeled because I know I like women, not sure if I like men. I'm cool with like non-gender conforming people, like them too. I just don't know if I like men. So like, I'm gonna be unlabeled. Or I'm gonna say I'm unlabeled. And then I just like felt weird about it. I felt weird not having a label. I felt weird being like, oh, I just kind of date whoever because I felt like it wasn't. Because that is true. I do believe that's true to me, but I didn't feel like it was true, if that made sense. Like, I knew that I primarily liked women. I knew that I gravitate towards women. I don't think I've ever really had like a crush on a man. I don't think I've ever seen myself being able to be with a man romantically. And then now I'm like 18, and I'm thinking about all these unattainable men. Dominic Fike, I'm looking at you, that is boyfriend number 1, okay? But yeah, like Dominic Fike, Drew Starkey, fucking Jacob Elordi. I'm thinking about all these unattainable men, and I was texting my friends, and I was kind of freaking out a little bit. I was like, yes, they are unattainable, and I know that doesn't invalidate my sexuality because I can't have them. But then I'm like, if that's the case, then am I even fucking gay? Because all my crushes are unattainable women. But I know I like women. I know I like that. That's different. But I was thinking that a little bit. I was like, well then, how do I know? And then I was just like, if I like met a man on the street that I was attracted to, and the thing is, I don't find like I've never found a man attractive like that unless they were like a celebrity or something. But I'm like, if I found a Dominic Fike dupe my age who was close, like I'd be like, I kind of need him. Like, would I? I don't know. And it started to freak me out a little bit because I was just like, I don't know, and I'm scared to like call myself a lesbian, even though I'm like 90% sure I'm a lesbian. Okay, but sometimes I almost worry a bit because the community is not that forgiving as they claim to be, and it scares the fuck out of me that one day I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna pop up with a man. And I've even had like my friends be like, I can never see with a man, and I know they don't mean any harm by it, but it's one of those things that it's like, okay, if everyone believes it, it must be true. And then when you actually start thinking about it, you're like, fuck, I don't know. You get a little scared because like, oh, I don't want to disappoint people. I don't want people to think that I was like pretending, because this is genuinely who I believed and that I was. And now I'm quote unquote changing it, which I'm not changing, I'm just growing and finding myself out. And it just, I don't know, I hate labels, but I hate not having a label. And I feel like that's a really common thing that people don't really talk about, is like hating having a label, but also wanting to have a label, wanting to be part of something, wanting to define yourself. Because as much as it is because honestly, to me, it's not for other people, it's for myself. It's similar to, like, mental illness and figuring out if you have depression and you go get diagnosed with depression. Yeah, it fucking sucks, but then you're also like, okay, I know what this is. I can kind of figure out how to help myself. And with sexuality, I feel like it's similar in the way that it's, okay, I know what this is. I have a community of people who I can relate to, who also feel the same way that I do. But then it's also like, oh, I don't want to say that I'm this, because if I'm not, I'm going to disappoint people, or people are going to think I'm a liar, yada, yada, yada. And I was, like, having a crisis. I was like, guys, like, what if I'm straight? I was like, I'm not. Like, I know I'm not. But what if? Like, what if I just... And it was freaking me the fuck out. I was like, but then I was talking to my friend Jules, and that's what kind of made me realize this is not a bigger conversation, but it's a more common conversation than I think we actually discuss it as. And I don't have like a solution to this. This is not the part of the podcast where I'm like, well, this is what we need to do. No, I'm just talking. Like, love Dominic Fike. He's actually in my bed right now. That's my man. if I was like 25, because he's 28, if I was like 25 and Dominic Fike called me up, oh, it's over, I do not care. If I have a girlfriend, we're broken up, we're done, I don't care, that's my man. But unfortunately that's not the case. I'm 18. Unfortunately that's not the case. I'm 17, so not my man. Ugh, whatever. I don't know, it's just like a really weird thing that I'm still, but this is also why I'm like, dating is something that I think we put too much power in. We hold it to such a high standard, because part of dating is supposed to be like finding out what you like and growing up. Now, I'm not with those people who are like, well, how would you know if you're gay if you know? No, that's not what I'm saying. I honestly, no, I feel that way about men. I know I like women, but about men, I'm like, well, what if? It's just a what if. I don't know, guys. I'm gay. I know that I'm gay. I just like think. I just think about it sometimes. I'm like, what if? I don't know. That's a bigger conversation that I want to elaborate on with someone else, so that way we can feed off of each other. But I did want to touch on it a little bit, because it's something that I've been thinking a lot about recently, like a lot, especially because, you know, I've had crushes recently. I've had one crush, and it's just something that I've been thinking about a lot. I don't know. I'm not like, I don't want, I was about to say I'm confused. I'm not confused, Mom. I don't know. It's just something that I've been thinking about recently, and I do want to talk about it with someone, and like, oh fuck, I just pulled my earring, and elaborate on it, because I think it's an important conversation to have, because I think it's very common with people, and you know, it's like, what is it called? Compulsive heterosexuality or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. Like compulsive heterosexuality. I know someone's gonna be like, it's compulsive heterosexuality, whatever. I'm like, no, bitch, stop trying to diagnose this shit. I know it's not a diagnosis. I'm joking. But I'm just like, no. I'm saying this because I genuinely, it's not even like, I don't even feel like I'm supposed to feel that way. Especially because I grew up with a queer parent, so I think I also see sexuality differently. I think anyone who grows up with a queer parent sees sexuality a bit differently. So no, I never felt like I was supposed to be straight. Honestly, I thought straight was like the minority or whatever the fuck. I thought it was the opposite. Like, I thought being gay was like the norm, until I was in like elementary school, and I was like, oh shit, that's not right. Oh, my bad. So it's not, for me personally, no, I don't think it's that, because I don't feel a compulsion, or I don't feel like I should be a certain way. I just personally always kind of have like a what if kind of thing. But that's also just me in general. Like, it's my personality. I'm very much a what if person. Fuck it, no balls. Like, that's kind of just who I am. So that's a me problem. Okay, I think I'm done yapping. I already know this episode is gonna be long as fuck, so I'm sorry, but I love you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to the Delusionist Pod. I will see you sometime next week, hopefully. Actually, yeah, hopefully next week. But the week after next week, I might not be posting, because it's gonna be my first week of classes. So if I disappear again for another like 2 weeks, I'm sorry. I would pre-record these, but my brain doesn't flow enough juices for that. I get ideas in the middle of the night. Hold on, before I end this, I was going to sleep, and I made this random fucking note at 2:26 in the morning. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, let me write shit up. And that's what I did. So it just comes to me in waves. Anyway, thanks for listening to guys, every single time I say Delusionist Pod, it is so fucking hard. Like, why did I choose that name? I'm like, hey guys, welcome to the Delusionist Pod. That's literally what I sound like in every intro. I have to retake it like 5 times, because I can never say Delusionist Pod. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I love you. I will see you sometime next week. Toodaloo!